You examine the census. The list of names doesn't include Leaf, who is standing outside of town.
Greetings. Is it safe to go back into town? What? No name? How could they take Leaf off their census? I'll have to speak to Vonnier about that. What's that? You'd like a claw? How odd. I was just sharpening my claws and the tip of one of them broke off. It must be fate at work. In that case, you should have it.
The claw of a bear with no name. You are clever to win such a prize. Clever indeed. A feather from a white raven and a claw from a bear with no name. 2 of the 3 items we need are in hand.
The third item is perhaps the most difficult to obtain. A tooth from a wolf who has never known battle.
Fate smiles upon you. At the edge of this village is an herbalist called Regan Wildleaf. He may be of help.
You aren't from here. Did you come with the Coven, or are you here as a friend to the folk of Hrundelfjord? We can use allies in this grave time. I am an herbalist, and I do what I can to heal the sick. A tooth? What a strange request. And an odd coincidence. When the ice first came, I bit a piece of it and broke a tooth. I'll readily give it to you, but can you help me? I have an ache from the missing tooth, and the herbs I need for the remedy are outside of town. I'll need a sprig each of valerian and of amaranth. They grow around the village and outside. I'll also need a branch of moonwort, which the Coven Nightwings may have Gather those 3 herbs, bring them to me, and I'll look around and see if I can find that broken tooth.
You fill your bucket with boiling hot geyser water.
You're quite the gatherer. Those herbs will help ease the pain of this broken tooth. And here, this is for you.
Regan hands you a jagged piece of broken tooth. That must have hurt coming out.
We have the three that cannot be. Now is the time to weave our greatest magic. Tooth, claw, and feather. These are symbols of our people, yet each comes from a source that cannot be.
You must bind them with the thread of your life and weave them into the tapestry that is Grizzleheim's fate.
Take feather, claw, and tooth to the loom of fate. Tie them to your thread, you will know it, and return to us.
One of the threads looks a little different from the others. You get a sense that it represents you. You tie the feather, claw, and tooth to the thread. Strangely, Grizzleheim feels a little more like home to you.
You can now dispel the magic that binds Grandmother Raven within her cage. It should open to your touch.
Free from that cage. Now I can take on my true form. Do not be afraid. Walk up the ramp so that I can see you, eye to eye. It has been centuries since I wore this shape. Oh, to stretch these wings once more. There is still much to do, else the Everwinter takes us all in its cold, clawed grasp. When the Ice Titan fought with his brothers, the Titans of Fire and Storm, the world was threatened with ruin. Bartleby sung the song that put them to sleep, and bound together the shattered world and spun it into the spiral. 4 sons there are of the Ice Titan, 4 giants of frost. Austri, Vestri, Sudri, and Nordri are their names. Each frost giant rules a land near Rundle Fjord, and they have never been friendly to bear, wolf, or raven. But the one they liked least was their father, the Ice Titan himself. While the father slumbers, the sons run wild. The 4 ice giants each have a means to bind their father to sleep. 4 golden seals, 1 to each. I lay this task upon you, to fetch back the golden seals. The gate to Austri's land will now open. Go through the gate and speak to Austri. Bargain for the seal, then return with it. There is no other way.
I've pulled bigger things than you out of my nose. Who are you, and why should I bother listening? It's clear to me why you've come. You want the golden seal that will keep my father in his great sleep. The Coven gave one seal to each of the Ice Titan's sons for safekeeping, but they do not know us very well. It pleases my brothers and me to let Ymir sleep on, while we rule over Bear, Raven, and Wolf. You're clearly a wizard of some renown, but I will not grant the seal to just any who ask. You must earn it. 4 tests I place before you. You must demonstrate your superiority in strategy, wits, charm, and if you would have my golden seal, you must defeat the most cunning of my allies. Skagus Fork. He dwells in a small shack next to my hall. You may have passed it on your way here. Defeat him and return here.
I saw you sniffing around Ostry's Hall. What brings you here? If you want to impress me, you'll have to defeat me in a game of Thane's Table. It's a complex game. I can see you haven't heard of it, but don't worry, I'm starved for a good game. No one here is any good at it. I have defeated all of Grizzleheim at Thane's Table, all but Mimir Winterbane, and we played to a draw. If you want to learn how to play, and play well, you should go and beg him to teach you the rules of the game. Mimir dwells at the Well of Erd in Rundlefjord, guarded by the 3 Njorns. Tell him I sent you.
You don't see anyone near. There is only one way to find out.